lie down or sit up in a position that feels comfortable to you. Be very peaceful. Connect to your twin flame in your heart, where they always exist within you. Feel this song in your heart. Recite it to your one true love. My hand, your hand, my foot, your foot, I dance, you drive. Two accents, two ways of speaking, one voice. You plant, I paint. I cook, you lead. You sing, I frolic. Two pulses, two heartbeats, one heart. You plan, I create. Your face, my face. My hair, your hair. My smile, your smile. One stream of joy. I design, you build. Your style, my style. Your way, my way. My idea, your idea. One vision. My power, your power, your strength, my strength, my feelings, your feelings, my yin, your yang, one chakra system, one soul. When you feel complete in this connection, ground all of your energies back into Mother Earth and integrate this love. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Namaste.
Hello, I'm Arshia, a student of Jeff and Shaleia. Today's card reading is done by me. Today's card deck is the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. As you can see, why I love these cards are actually because it connects directly to thy will, which is the divine will, which is the core truth of your heart, where we move our ego selves and fully surrender to this reading. So that's why I love this. And the cards are pre-shuffled. The first card I have received is Messenger. So it's beautiful illustrations. I love these illustrations of these cards. As you can see, it's a very powerful image, like a saint, something like that, of a energy. So what's written here is Cyrus energy, bringing harmony and balance. What this card says is that your true nature is divine, you are divine, and your true purpose, the calling of twin flames, that is the true purpose is to bring harmony and balance within, harmony and balance with God, harmony and balance with all there is, by doing your inner work, by walking the journey. If you have heard the call of twin flames, so the thing is that it's not just a very personal journey. You're actually making an effect as a divine being on earth when you ground your harmonious union by bringing in harmony and balance within, and harmony and balance with the masculine and the feminine on earth, by grounding it, by rooting it. So there is a true loving purpose to it. It's about trusting that, understanding that there is a higher purpose to all this, where you are being called to in the twin flame journey. So go ahead and first balance within, and know that it's a ripple effect that forms once you bring your harmony within. Then it is as a ripple effect shown in your twin flame union, in your harmonious union. Once you ground that, the same ripple effect shows on earth by grounding love, grounding harmony, grounding harmony between divine masculines and feminines. So know that there is a true purpose, there is true value to what you are doing right now with your inner work, doing right now by grounding harmonious union. So that's the first card. Now the second card what I received is jump in. So very vibrant card. Again, I'm loving the illustrations of the card. As you can see, this is a small feat. It's jumping into this universe of vibrant possibilities. What's written here is Andromedian energy, adventure, say yes to change. So Andromedian energy, they are a group of beings who are ready to go with the flow, not afraid of challenges, ready to dive into adventures. So life, when they call you into adventures, see your whole twin flame journey like an adventure, instead of being upset of your challenges, knowing that life is like a tide. So it's like almost like surfing. There'll be ups, there'll be downs, there'll be still water at times. So facing this by holding your strength within, and that's what the mirror exercise really helps you do. You hold peace within and move through your challenges and upsets. Right. So that's what this card is saying. Don't be afraid of change. Dive into new adventurous things, what your heart is calling you to do, and not to be upset about the challenges, knowing that life is going to bring challenges, and you don't need to really worry about that if you know how to hold peace and move through it. So just going with the flow, basically, even if it is ups or downs, enjoying the process. It's very loving energy that this card is also bringing, a beautiful message. And now the third card is I am sorry. Yeah, again, love the illustrations. A lot of harmonious energy there, where it's about freeing yourself and grounding energy, harmonious energy, letting go energy. That's there in the card. So, what's shown here is defenselessness, righting past wrongs and uprooting. So yes, let go of all that defenselessness where you are holding it as an armor or a shield, where you are holding your childhood traumas or what happened to you in the past, or all the upsets, generational patterns, conditionings, social conditionings, all of this, holding it as an armor, worrying that you will get hurt by it if you're going to go see the upset and uproot it. But that's not the truth. What it is that that's why I am sorry. So I'm sorry is actually letting go and uprooting. Forgiveness is actually letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. So it's safe to uproot those using mirror exercise, using all the work that is provided here. Uproot those patterns, uproot those hurts, wounds, conditionings, which is not serving you, and ground into love, like the picture showed, the roots that is growing here, grounding into love, grounding into harmony within, which will obviously reflect outside later with your twin flame. That's why the masculine and feminine energy balance is being shown here. So yeah, just grounding into love, making love as your foundation, having roots grounded in love, so you can really come into harmonious union, harmony, love with God, with yourself, which later will manifest outside of you naturally. So also here, trusting the divine will, that is knowing that the divine will is way greater, surrendering, letting go. When you let go, it's safe to surrender to the divine will. So that's what's coming to me for this card reading. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday service today. My name is Granville Campbell, and it is my pleasure to introduce the sermon by Lorenzo and Alexandra on the topic of giving and receiving help. And so what I enjoyed was just the journey that they share with us in exploring the topic and going deeper into what it is to actually give help, but also what it is to receive help. And also realizing that we are worthy of actually receiving help, that there is no reason for us not to receive that help, and that there is no reason for us to give in unbalanced ways. And then also that there is no reason for giving and receiving of help to be unbalanced. So I think the thing that really stood out for me was Alexandra sharing that sense that she felt different, and she felt how she always felt like she had to do things on her own and give more than she was receiving, but also that space of realizing that there is actually help around her and calling in that help and accepting that help and allowing herself to receive that help. And I feel like for me, it's quite resonant in that I have gone through a very similar journey in kind of feeling like I had to do things on my own. And that showed up in really putting myself under pressure in very unusual ways because of not being able to even, or being comfortable to even ask for help. And I feel like it's something that when I feel back into it, it almost feels like something that I kind of just grew up with and almost chose to just accept as a given. And so it was fitting as they unpacked the concept of help and that giving and receiving and that balance of help, to just kind of feel into the spaces in myself where in the past I had felt that way about asking for help, about receiving help, and even just about being worthy of help. And I feel like that there's a big component to unpack in terms of realizing that you are worthy of help and realizing that there is help available and kind of opening yourself up to actually just receiving that help. And what I mean by that is that we have, and I have grown up kind of looking at the example of other people and realizing that the people around me actually chose to see needing help as a sign of weakness. And so in internalizing that lesson of not wanting to appear weak, I also internalized the lesson of not asking for help when I needed it, which put me in the position of generally feeling quite alone and feeling like I had to go at things on my own. But that position is quite pressurizing because you then feel like you have to control all the components. So there's an element of judgment and there's an element of control that kind of needs to be released in order to just accept and allow myself to accept that I am worthy of help, and that in accepting that help, there's a healthier relationship with life, there's a healthier relationship with other people, and there's really a healthier relationship internally, because I don't feel like I'm backed into a corner, and I don't feel like showing the vulnerability of asking for help is actually a sign of weakness. And in doing that and being able to release that, I'm in a much more comfortable position to partner. It makes it a much healthier way to engage with other people, because again, I feel like there's a component of our readiness to give help, but not necessarily receive help. So as they share in their sermon, it kind of just brings these two perspectives together, and it allows for rebalancing of those energies and realizing how interconnected they really are. And it allows for a greater understanding of how and when help shows up, and how and when to give help, and how and when to receive help. And one of the other things that really stood out for me that Laurentia and Alexandra shared is on just getting clear about what help means to you and why you need it, and then being deliberate in kind of demanding that help. And not only demanding it, but actually taking the action steps as you go through that process of giving and receiving help. So yeah, I'd like not to give away too much of their sermon and allow you to draw the lessons that you need to receive from their sermon today. So I'd like to invite you to just sit back and to relax and to receive the message that is there for you in Lorenzo and Alexandra's sermon on giving and receiving help. And I will see you at the end of their sermon. So again, thank you everybody for joining us today. And please just allow Lorenzo and Alexandra to minister to you through their sermon on giving and receiving help.
Hello, I'm Lorenzo.
And I am Alexandra, and we are the ministers of Unionism for you in this Sunday service. Let us begin with our 3 opening ohms and with our opening prayer. Please follow along either aloud or in your heart. And now for our opening prayer.
I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word.
Today, I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to his teachings through his divine channel. I will honor what he has spoken and accept it as his will. I will be obedient to his word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, Amen.
Amen.
Welcome. Today, we would like to talk with you about a subject that we have been going deeper into in our own spiritual journey as unionists, and that is about giving and receiving help. We have chosen this topic because we have been studying the art of giving and receiving help a little bit deeper, especially since Jeff and Shaleia have recently recommended the student body to read The Laws of the Spirit World. It's a really good book, and we highly recommend it ourselves to the people watching if you're interested in it. And there we have learned some more things about that. But before we go deeper, we would like to just talk with you about what help is and what does it mean to help someone. And ultimately, what I am thinking is that helping is an act of love. Helping ultimately is you choosing to go to your brother or sister and elevating them in one way or another. You're helping them through a challenge, meaning that you give of yourself, give of your gift to help them move to that challenge. You help them level up in one way or another in their life. And one of the biggest things here that we have come to the understanding of is that help is also a gift from God. And God actually commands us when to help one another. And we can choose to listen to the voice of God or not. And how that looks like is by just feeling into your heart and asking God about, okay, God, how should I handle this situation? How I should go deeper? Should I help this person? How I should help this child of God? How do you want me to serve you? Because ultimately serving a child of God is also serving God, is a way in which you manifest your life purpose. Your life purpose will always be related to something with helping one another, with loving one another, right?
Yeah, doing something that will support someone else in this world.
Yeah, supporting each other as, one child of God. And I think like this is really, really beautiful because we're all one, unionism. So going deeper with this, I was feeling that we don't really know what helping each other actually means. And we have misunderstandings maybe from the way that we have been taught in society what help actually is. And we need to kind of like relearn the old pattern of helping to the actual divine way of helping that God wants us to way. What's the proper way in which God wants us to act with our brothers and sisters, and how to give to them, how to help them. And I would like here to talk about the difference between interdependence and codependency. Because I feel like what we generally see in society as helping one another is actually a way of having a codependent relationship with one another. When somebody puts as their source the person that they receive help from, or the organization or the situation that is helping them in one way or another. And that's not actually the divine way to receive or give help. And so therefore, look at the relationships that you're having and see, is there any codependency in the relationship that you are forming, either through giving or receiving help?
So Alexandra, how do you know if you're actually loving someone when you give to someone?
Well, you know by seeing if this person is going to heal through their situation or not. I think like God is calling us to help one another by really allowing us or the person that we're helping to really learn a lesson. And it's really important to look at the healing that happens when we help one another. I think healing is a really great component of this. And I think like when we have a codependent relationship with somebody, we don't actually allow ourselves to heal or learn lessons. We're actually in a state of like, you give me something and I receive it, and you give me something and, or I give you something and you receive it. So therefore there is like an exchange, but there's no actual growth happening on either side, right? It's actually a lose and lose situation, because when God asks you to love somebody by helping them, you're gonna actually see them grow through a challenge and rise up as more divine, like more in their divine selves. And I see that with codependency, that doesn't really happen. It doesn't really allow us to heal and move deeper. So I think like this is the main kind of difference in this space, because when you give help, you give love, and love is healing. It's healing for us to be given, and it's healing to be received as well. So I feel like the next really important thing here is about receiving help, and how important it is for you as well to receive help in your journey, in your life, in going about your day-to-day business, and to demand to be helped and loved along the way. This is actually something that I wasn't doing, or I wasn't doing necessarily for myself. I was doing maybe like, for example, for Laurentio, and I saw like, oh, it's very normal for Laurentio to be helped and for him to have everything that he needs, and for me to give him something, like if I can, to give him what he needs. But I wasn't really taking care of my own needs. So I have realized that I really have to allow myself to go within and love myself and see, why am I not receiving help? So I realized that I had blocks to receiving help and receiving support in like different areas of my life, because I didn't see myself either as worthy, or I didn't see that I needed it. And I like, this is just a small thing, and maybe I can deal with it myself, and it's stupid that I need help to go through this situation, which of course is a lie. If you need help, it's safe to like ask for help, ask for guidance in a way that of course is appropriate for the relationships that you're having. So for example, I do have like an Ascension coach, so therefore to go in an Ascension coaching session and not really allow myself to open up and heal to the blocks is kind of like paying money to like hang out with my coach. Like, my coach is great, I love her, right? But you know, when we're in a coaching session, it's all about, you know, going deep and healing into those places, or you know, whatever I might need to move forward in my journey. So I was realizing that I wasn't really allowing myself to receive the help that was already there for me. You might have help lying around you in metric tons, and you're not really allowing yourself to receive it. And this is what I had a realization as I was healing in these spaces, because I was focusing on others and what they needed. So therefore I wasn't focusing on myself, and I was growing in frustration and resentment of like, I'm not being supported and nobody supports me, and I'm here all alone, whatever. And yeah, of course I had to do the mirror exercise with all of these things. And deeper, you know, I have just realized that I really need to support and give to myself help, and allow myself to receive help even from others. And that is not a shame or something bad that, you know, you need help or I need help, you know. There are things in life that I do not know. And there are things in life that maybe you know and you could help me discover in some way. And this is the beauty of, you know, living in a community of people that you can trust. And living in this community for me is that I have a lot of people around me that you know, I could turn, you know, to in case I needed help. But I wasn't allowing myself to do that, because I felt that, you know, there was something special about me that nobody else understood. Nobody else can understand Alexandra in this particular place. And in a way it's true, because I needed to like give myself that from God and choose to receive from God. But at the same time, we shouldn't see that, you know, this stops us from having a relationship, even with our twin flame, because this was something that was appearing in our relationship and was stopping us from going deeper. but I wasn't really allowing myself to receive you as my twin flame. So I really had to like reassess that, because then I would go angry with Laurentiu because he was like not doing something.
Why not giving me?
Yeah, exactly. Why are you not giving me? When, you know, I wasn't allowing myself to go within and see like, oh, actually there are all of these insecurities about receiving help that I was completely blind to, and I needed to address and heal and go deeper in order for me to receive even my twin flame deeper. And we say this, I think, like in every sermon that we make, that yes, we're married, well, yes, we're in harmonious union, yes, we still heal through the same, probably very similar things as you do, but in a different way, in a deeper way. So I just had this epiphany about receiving help, and I wanted to share it with you.
Yeah, like something that really, like this subject reminds me of, like the book Outwitting the Devil. Actually, from that, like I remember, like when it comes to support, I really like how it describes there, and it says, you don't ask God for stuff. You demand it, and then you have a clear reason why you demand it and why you need it into your life. And this is actually something that Jeff and Shaleia teach. You don't just like say it and wait for it. You actually like demand it and then go for it and do, you have the reason why do you need that thing, why do you need that support into your life, and be clear on that. And once you're clear on that, you can actually receive it, because there's a clear understanding of like, yeah, you need that support because that will help you to support others, or it will help you to produce this thing. And if you have this understanding, things will flow.
Yes.
If you don't have that understanding, it will be a mess. And that's where it comes like a bit of introspection about, okay, why do I need this thing that I think I need? Why do I want this support? What for? How will that support me? Will that really support me? And having this conversation until you get clear. And once you're clear on that support and you feel that that's the next thing that you need into your life, perfect. You're clear. So therefore you can move on to the next step. You can move on to actually receiving it. Of course, you cannot control the process of receiving, but having the clarity, it's already like you've done your piece, and then the rest is in God's job, in God's hands. And that really brings a piece of relaxation, because you can relax into, okay, I done my piece here, I done my job.
Yeah, and then it's really important to actually externally to say take the action steps to like receive that help. So how that looks like, I can give a very simple example of how we purchased Twin Flame Ascension School. And we had like financial issues, of course, and we were dealing with that, and we received help from an Ascension coach, and we did a mirror exercise, and we healed. But we still had to take that action step of actually, purchasing Twin Flame Ascension School. We had to like go all in that area. We have seen that, okay, God gave us the money for that. God gave us the support, but it was on us to fully receive the gift and fully honor the gift that God is giving us, the help here that is coming our way. It's by us honoring that and seeing that, okay, this is what I'm calling in. I should honor that and receive it fully and take all the action steps. And this is exactly how it happens with your twin flame union as well. You call your twin flame in and you need support and see what you need here and take the action steps towards that, be it a romance attraction course. Maybe you don't have a romance attraction and you need to get it. Go deeper, take that step. It's there for you already. Don't postpone it any longer. Maybe you need to actually allow yourself to invest deeper into coaching. So do that. Maybe you need to like just romance yourself deeper and spend some time with yourself and God. Take the action steps towards that. Maybe there are things at your twin flame that really bother you. Heal through that. Do the mirror exercise. You have to like take these things like in your own hand as well. And this also brings us perfectly back to giving help. Is that one of the greatest lessons that we have learned in helping others in their twin flame journey is that you really cannot help another if they don't want to be helped. And this is just simply something that we had to like surrender. And really honor and respect our brothers and sisters' choices when they want to be helped or they don't want to be helped. And they might be screaming for dear life that they want help, but they don't actually want the help. They want that who have that codependent relationship with you where they get something from you so they cannot confront their thing that they need to be confronted.
Their fears, their pain,
Exactly.
sadness, whatever feelings are there.
Yeah.
Their feelings.
Exactly. And remember what we said in the beginning is that when you help someone, they go through a healing, they go through a growing, they go through learning something. So when you help someone, you would see them grow and change and evolve with the help that you offer them. And if that doesn't happen, you really have to sit down with yourself and see why that is happening in that relationship. Sit down with that person as well, but first sit down with yourself and see why, I am investing in this relationship and it doesn't seem like it's changing or moving forward, or, it doesn't seem like it's progressing in a loving way. Well, it's time to sit down with yourself and assess and feel your feelings. And I remember something that Shaleia said about relationships, I think in Romans Attraction Equals, and that relationship is all about giving and receiving, and it has to be balanced. And allow yourself to see if what you're giving and what you're receiving in that relationship is balanced. And if it's not balanced, allow yourself to see what's the next step. Do you need to maybe give more? Maybe you need to step up in the relationship and love more in one way or another. Maybe you need to step down and put a boundary, no, we're not going to go into this place anymore. I already given you everything that you need. Now it's in your responsibility. And sometimes you do have to see that when you have relationships, this can happen where you have given everything that you can to this person to help them. And literally you cannot give them anything more because you have given them everything that God is guiding you to give them in order for them to progress. And maybe they will say no, I don't have enough yet. I still need some of your juicy energy here. Don't buy into that. Allow yourself to see how valuable you are and respect yourself and respect them and see that, okay, if they make a new choice, they will move to that situation, but they're simply maybe not making a new choice.
Yeah, and this brings me to the book that you said at the beginning with the laws of the spirit world that Jeff and Shaleia have recommended to us to read. That I really liked when I got to the chapter about that, and it said the following. It said that you have to get clear first. What does that person choose? So if that person, I will just use more words that you'd not necessarily from the book, but some words that we use here on this channel. So if someone doesn't chooses love at the core, helping them or just giving something with them will look different than will look to someone that they choose to love themselves at the core. And what does that mean? It means that if you help someone that chooses to not love themselves and don't choose to go forward in life and choose, to remain stuck, and you are giving stuff. Let's say you give them money or you give them support or you give them all these things, it's all going to be wasted. And actually, in this book was saying that if you do that, you're actually encouraging that choice. So you're encouraging that choice of not loving themselves. You're supporting them in maintaining that choice, which that's not what we support here. And this ties very well with Jeff and Shaleia, how they share, if someone doesn't choose love, you can't really help them. And the best way to actually help them is to have a boundary with them. And that's actually how you support someone who doesn't make the choice to love themselves or to move forward in the journey. You have an appropriate boundary with that person, but first you have to get very clear what does that person chooses in that moment. Once you got that clear, you know how to move forward. Because if they choose love, yeah, you just give them. But of course, as Alexandra said before, you always go to God and ask God, what does that person need? How do I love this person? Like, how does this love person like to be loved? And it's not about you, how do you think you should love this person? No, it's about how does God want to love this person through you. And as I said, like, if it's a person that doesn't choose love, you love them by having a boundary, by saying no to them, by just not giving them attention, not giving them what they want. I know this may seem a bit, like absurd, but it's actually how it is, because as I said, if you encourage or if you keep giving attention to someone who doesn't choose to change, you're just encouraging that pattern. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy for you, that's not healthy for the other person, because then it's kind of like wasting God's energy, and then God wouldn't give you more for that if you invest in something that is just being licked away.
Yeah, you have to respect both your energy, God's energy, all energy here that it's being transacted in this situation. And sometimes it's the bitter medicine that is the most helping thing. And we have seen our gurus sometimes giving us some bitter medicine for us to like digest. And if you what I'm trying to say is that maybe it's not pleasant, to go through that, but ultimately it is the most loving thing, and you will feel extremely grateful for that when you move through it. So sometimes don't be afraid to give the bitter medicine and see how that happens. See what happens afterwards.
Yeah, because it's not the person or the medicine itself that feels bad. It is just the place within yourself that it's hurt, that feels bad, and is just being seen in that moment. So don't an important aspect of this. So don't take it personally, or don't create resentment because you feel that pain or uncomfortable feeling, or like how you want to, however you feel there, and actually just realize that that is only what is being released, or what it is brought to the surface to be worked through, rather than that person made me feel that way, because no one can make you feel in a certain way. It's your choice if you choose to feel in a certain way or another, if you choose to receive a certain feeling or not. Again, with receiving and giving, you have to choose to receive something in order to receive something. You cannot just receive something. Because as well, getting back to outwitting the devil, there is another thing that ties very well with this, is that you don't, if you just receive everything in your life without actually thinking about it, you just walk through life and just say yes to everything, that's not healthy for you, because you saying yes to something that you don't know if you actually want, it's not going to bring you forward to act what you actually want. It's actually going to drift you away from what you want. So it's very important, even if you receive something for free, if you don't want to, and if you don't have any need for it, any use for it, why should you receive it? Why it should occupy your time, your space in your life? And that's again how you don't really respect your good if you accept good that is not, that you don't want. So I feel like I really like this piece of the book, and I wanted to express it a bit more.
Yeah, thank you. It was great.
Good. Well, I do feel complete.
Yes. So just as a closing thought, helping is ultimately giving and receiving love. It's love and it's healing. So allow yourself to receive love, allow yourself to give love, and that's it.
Yep.
Good. So let us close with our closing prayers and our 3 closing ohms.
Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you.
I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word, and I will share your teachings with him in any way you ask, and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name,
Amen.
Amen.
Speaking this prayer in your heart means that you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teaching of union with God wherever you find them and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator.
And now for our 3 closing ohms, please follow along either aloud or in your heart. Thank you so much for watching this sermon. Go out, help yourself, help others, and remember to always love others as God loves you. Have a wonderful week.
Hello again, everybody, and thank you for being with us today for our Sunday service. I hope that you enjoyed the sermon from Laurentia and Alexandra on giving and receiving help. And for me, there's a couple of things that stood out in terms of how they brought the two components together, but also shared the golden thread of how the topic of their sermon is shared through Jeff and Shaleia's work, shared through Jeff and Shaleia's teachings to us in our live classes, and how it kind of filters through in the text that they share with us as students to explore further, and how it's also shared through the various courses that we have within Twin Flames Universe. And so, yeah, it really just feels like a message that gets repeated in many ways differently, and just allows us to grow our awareness of what giving and receiving help is, and how to balance it, and also how to realize that we are worthy of receiving that love, that help. But also, the thing that stands out for me is the sense that help is love in action. So I hope that you enjoyed this sermon, and I hope that it has administered to you in a way that was resonant with you today, so that you can take that message and explore it for the rest of the week as you ground into your healing. And so hope that you have received what you have needed to receive from their sermon today. And I'd also like to invite you to visit our unionism.org page, where you will find all our previous sermons, music, meditations, and card readings. You will also be able to donate or tithe to contribute to the Church of Union's message to the world. We'd also like to invite you to like and subscribe to our Church of Union YouTube channel, where you will find all our previous sermons as well, our previous Sunday services. You will also find any other live discussions that have happened in our Unionism Spiritual Discussion group on Facebook. And we'd also like to invite you directly after this Sunday service to our after church tea time, which also takes place in our Unionism Spiritual Discussion group on Facebook. And it's a panel of unionists just sharing their perspective on the topic of giving and receiving help and how it has showed up in their journey. Once again, we thank you all for joining us today, and we wish you a really good week ahead. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.